Salutations, Statesman. Automatic here for Automatic Games. Thanks for joining me for Season 4, Episode 5 of our XCOM 2 series. In our previous installment, Bravo Squad infiltrated an Advent black site located in Indonesia. Now, it did get a little hectic on the ground, but Bravo Squad emerged intact and victorious. Meanwhile, the Advent black site lay in ruins. Meanwhile, as that mission was unfolding, we were already made aware of a secondary Advent black site located in the New Arctic. Echo Squad was designated the squad that would be infiltrating that secondary site, and that will be our focus for this episode. Now, despite being all too accustomed to the climate of South America, Echo Squad is quite anxious to head off into Siberia and take it to this black site. After all, they are still relatively new to the program, and they feel like they have something to prove, not just to the brass, but to their counterparts in the other squads. So yeah, either way, Mortull and company are ready to go and are on deck for this mission. So, with no further ado, let's turn our attention to the geoscape. The Avenger is already up there in the New Arctic. We were able to bypass making contact with the resistance cell in the New Arctic by utilizing a facility lead, which allows us to go for direct contact with the black site. Anyways, let's have a look at Echo Squad. Echo Squad is, as always, commanded by David Mortimer, codenamed Mortull, taking in the Skulljack in a frost bomb. He is joined in the field by Katherine Susbury, sporting the war suit with a built-in flamethrower, tracer rounds, and an acid bomb. Bridget Michaels, codenamed Skeptic, I almost called her Septic, with blue screen rounds and an EMP bomb. Autumn Durga, codenamed Stealer, taking in the stasis vest and a mimic beacon. Thomas Trumpet, codenamed Titanium, taking nano med kits and another EMP bomb. And finally, Finnegan Trollester, codenamed Fintroll, taking in the race suit and a battle scanner. Echo Squad as it stands. Echo, you may board when ready. Yeah, there's a big difference between Skeptic and Septic.
Sky Ranger deployed.
In position for deployment.
Copy, Firebrand, begin your descent.
We are moving to take out a high-security Advent installation operating out of this region. Intel from the Resistance suggests this facility is conducting research critical to the Avatar project. Once in position, approach the designated target and plant the X4 charges. Once they're armed, move to minimum safe distance and level that facility.
Now, as you can see, Echo Squad is dressed for winter warfare. In other words, white outfits and winter caps, befitting of heading to a cold climate like Siberia. And as to that discussion that we've had recently about what people will do after the war, as that discussion has reached the ranks of Echo Squad, maybe with the exception of Titanium and Skeptic, they have responded by saying after the war they'll keep fighting Advent. Albeit remnant forces, that's what they did before this quote-unquote war, that's what they'll do afterward. Anyways, Echo Squad is boots on the ground. As is typical of a squad leader, and as is Mortull's nature, he's going to move ahead. Move about halfway, get a lay of the land. And he's got his eye on something. Looks like an Archon, 2 Vipers, and a turret. So he's going to go into a run and gun, but we'll switch over to Fintroll, have him go into Overwatch. Sushikat is going to go ahead and advance. She'll take cover behind this tree, and she too will go into Overwatch.
Scanning.
As to Titanium, he's going to fall in next to Sushikat. Stealer will advance, get behind this half cover provided by this rock, and actually, let's get this started. We'll come back to Stealer. In the meantime, Mortull is going to advance to the full extent of his capabilities, just shy of being spotted, and he's going to go for his ice pack in the hopes of freezing this Archon. Well, we don't see the Archon, but we know it was right there. This will also freeze one of those Vipers. So let's see, did we get it?
We've been spotted.
Yeah, we did. Fintroll going for the other Viper. No joy. Of course, Sushikat is also in Overwatch, so she's gonna fire. She unloads on the Viper and puts it down.
Kill confirmed.
We've got 3 on the grid. The only active element on the grid is this turret. And Stealer is gonna utilize Inspire. She's gonna use that on Sushikat, thus allowing Sushikat to put some fire on that turret. While Sushi doesn't have blue screen rounds, she can sure as hell shred armor, so that's the hope here. And it's good. Excellent. She shreds the turret's armor and does a little damage on top of that. As to Skeptic, she's gone into run and gun. She's going to advance, moving out ahead, using this rock as cover. She does have blue screen rounds, and she's going to attempt to use them on that turret. And it connects. The turret is down, leaving 2 frozen Advent elements on the grid. Good deal there. I mean, come on, Advent, is your turn over? I mean, there's not much you can do. Okay, there we go. We are going to turn our attention to Skeptic, and she's going to advance. She'll move up on the right behind this tree here. Or actually, take that back. She's going to move directly forward. Either way, she's going to be focusing fire on that Viper. So, she lines up a shot. And it's good. Viper down.
Target neutralized.
That just leaves the Archon on the grid. And to deal with that, Sushikat is going to advance. She'll be using this rock as half cover, and she'll go ahead and open fire. And it's a bullseye. But the Archon remains standing, or, well, floating anyhow.
Out of rounds.
And so Mortull's gonna move up behind this closest tree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll get in close and see if he can exact a finishing blow. And I think he did. Pretty sure he did.
That's right.
Yeah, he did. Good deal. The grid is clear, and so Echo Squad will advance. All the while, Fintroll is going to be anchored behind the squad, seeing as he is the squad sniper. Everybody else is moving up on the facility proper. Now, we have kind of talked about, I guess I briefly mentioned that in terms of their plans for post-war, most of Echo Squad intends to continue to hunt down Advent. After all, they've grown quite accustomed to being combat personnel. The same cannot exactly be said for Skeptic or Titanium. Titanium intends to join something reminiscent of the Red Cross. Wait, we've got something on the grid here. Yeah, we've got 3 on the grid. 1 Guardian, 1 Trooper, and 1 Shield Bearer. Well, this is something we're going to have to deal with or distract. Or essentially both, right? Anyhow, Mortull turns his attention to Stealer and orders her to deploy the attention whore. This in the hopes of course, buying the squad a little bit of time. Oh, excuse me. Buying the squad a little bit of time. Anyway, Steeler wants to put this thing behind a modicum of cover, so she'll toss it there.
Bird, hurry up, Bird.
And so there it is.
That isn't over here. I want you to come down and help me eat this double pizza.
Moving to position.
I'm sorry, but I haven't heard Ernest. What's his name? Ernest Worrell. That was the guy's name. Anyhow, back to the game. Sushikat's gonna deploy the acid bomb. And it's good. And as a side effect of deploying that bomb, it leaves acid around that short wall, thus dissuading both the shield bearer and trooper from using that half wall as cover. In other words, dissuade them from advancing to that juncture anyhow. Skeptic moves up and goes into Overwatch. Virtually everyone's in Overwatch because we fully anticipate our enemies to advance on that mimic beacon, that attention whore. And in doing so, they will trigger Overwatch, and sure enough, that's exactly what happens here. Mortull taking the first shot, scores a hit. Skeptic fires as well. Another nice hit. Damn, between the two of them, they destroyed the Guardian. Here comes the shield bearer. Titanium opens up. He scores a hit. Nice damage there. Fires again, not so much on the second attempt. And now we've got Fintroll lining up a shot. Oh joy. As to the shield bearer, he's firing on our attention whore.
Bird, hurry up, Bird. Put this in here and that and this.
And, let's see, what's the trooper gonna do here is dropping off of the facility roof. Also moving on the attention whore. And also firing a shot.
Bird, hurry up, Bird.
And the attention whore is knocked out of action. Okay, let's see. We will shift focus over to Mortull, have him move over to the right flank, and he'll take a shot at this trooper. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Made short work of the Advent Trooper. That just leaves a shield bearer on our left flank. And Sushi's gonna reload and take a shot at that scumbag.
Reloaded.
Yep, she's got a clean shot. Yeah, salutations, scumbag. I should have said sayonara. Scumbag, I guess salutations is hello, is it not? Anyhow, that was all together a good deal.
Good to go.
Because the grid is clear, and the shield bearer drops some gear.
I'm on it.
That was corny, because it rhymed.
It's killing time.
I'm sorry. It's not even that funny, and I was just sitting there with a permagrin on my face because, I don't know. Sometimes the dumbest things
I'm on it.
make me laugh. Anyhow, as you can see, troops are moving forward and reloading where necessary, otherwise going into Overwatch. Certainly that's not all Advent has in this AO. So Fintroll is going to move up a little further, and he'll go into Overwatch. As the Sushikat,
Covering now.
she's gone into Overwatch as well. Skeptic is, well,
Running.
yeah, she's going to activate running gun. And she's actually going to run right past this gear, all the way up to this fence here.
Got it.
And she very well may activate an enemy pod. That's the expectation, and it pans out to be true. Another Guardian, supported by a couple of sectoids. And another Advent turret, so we have 4 on the grid. Well, hell. She does have an EMP bomb, and she's going to use it on that Guardian. And it does nice damage. Good deal. As for Titanium, we're going to have him move up, and the temptation to collect that gear is there, but it seems so superfluous considering he has an EMP bomb. There's a Guardian within range, so yeah, he's going to deploy that. And as a result, the Guardian is down, so too is that Advent forklift. Because you never know, they could have manned the forklift and... who knows? Hilarity ensues, I suppose?
No retreat.
So, Steeler is using Inspire on Skeptic. And Skeptic is going to use that extra move momentarily. First, we're going to have Mortull activate Run and Gun, see if he can go up top onto this roof. And he sure can, so he's going to do that.
S1-5, you're near the target position.
Yeah. Anyways, he's doing that so he can get better range on that gun there. He's going for it. Scores a good hit.
It hit the planes. That's it. I'm out.
Not quite enough, but Skeptic also has a line of sight. Damn. Probably should have had her fire first considering the damage, but then it wouldn't have been a team effort. Okay, so we've got two sectoids out and about. This one is attempting some kind of psionic attack. No, rather, it's raising the dead.
Enemies on the move! They're flanking us!
As to the other one, coming out near Mortull, but then it decides to double back and go inside. And the sectoids are supposed to be smart.
On the move!
I'm guessing it's book smart. It's just by nature of him coming outside, freaking out, and then going back inside. It doesn't show a lot of street smarts now, does it? Anyhow, Fintroll firing at one of the sectoids scores a hit. As to Sushikat, she's gonna move up. She's not too concerned with cover at this point, just judging from the position of the enemy. Yeah, she's gonna go for the zombie. What the hell? It's a kill anyhow. Nice.
Enemy destroyed. My ammo's running low.
Skeptic is gonna come in close. And a swing and a hit. So the sectoid is down.
Hostile target down.
As to Titanium, now he's gonna go for that gear. Alright, so collected some material goods. Steeler will advance. Head up into this corner. This leaves Mortull to deal with the remaining sectoid. He's gonna come in close and attempt a melee attack. Or as Mr. Jackson says, a melee attack. And the sectoid is down. Excellent, so the grid is clear.
Looks like they called in backup.
For now, but obviously there's Advent reinforcements inbound.
We've picked up hostile reinforcements inbound on your position.
And so, Echo Squad wants to get into a good position to receive these incoming Advent elements.
Closing on target position now.
To that end, Sushikat will take cover here, go into Overwatch. Skeptic will head out by this tree, also Overwatch.
On Overwatch.
As for Titanium, does he go around this rock? Ah, hell. Just Overwatch. Autumn Durga will post up behind that rock, and she'll go into Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Yeah, as to Mortull, he's gonna press on toward the primary objective.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, he's gonna go for it.
Menace 1-5, status confirmed. X4 charges are armed. Move to the extraction point for immediate evac.
Negative, Central, this is not Menace 1-5. You can refer to us as Echo. Okay, here they come. We're gonna get a hell of a reception. We've got a stun lancer, an officer, and a mech.
Advent forces on the ground.
Oh, come on. Oh, either way, that was a miss, but I don't know who was doing what. Sushikat misses. Skeptic does score a hit. That's good. Titanium misses. Stealer misses.
I got nothing.
Remind me, what was I saying about a hell of a reception? Well, that's neither here nor there. It is our turn. And so now, we're gonna give them a hell of a reception. Please. Skeptic lines up a shot. She does great damage, courtesy of those blue screen rounds, but it's not quite enough. And so, let's see. Yeah, Fintroll's gonna attempt to finish the mech. Are you serious? Just one shy of killing it. Damn. Okay, well.
Roger that.
Sushikat's gonna move into a position from which she'll be able to use that flamethrower and hit both the mech and the soldier. Not realizing, just like your humble host, that the flamethrower will do absolutely nothing to a mech. There we go. Thank you, Titanium. But this was just sloppy. I mean, the mission wasn't, just this last engagement with these reinforcements. Luckily, Mortull's inside, so he doesn't have to witness any of this.
Moving to access.
He's gonna forego a flawless victory. I mean, I don't know it yet, but I kinda know it. Yep. He loves to skulljack people, what can I say?
Didn't get
I mean, it does kill the officer, it's a trade-off, because usually he doesn't get the hack, so he ends up taking like 2 damage, 3 damage, but it's a one-hit kill. And Stealer going for the Stun Lancer,
Neutralized.
and the Stun Lancer's down.
Menace 1-5. All hostile contacts near your position have been eliminated. Move to rendezvous for extraction.
Really? Oh my. I can Monday morning quarterback all the livelong day about how that final firefight was far from ideal. But the fact remains, this is the first time one of our squads has cleared an Advent black site of all combat personnel and dealt with all the Advent fast reaction teams. I mean, we have stealthily inserted ourselves and extracted under fire a la Bravo Squad. We've engaged in running firefights and extracted under fire, a la, Alpha and Charlie squads. But this is a first, folks, and Echo Squad has every reason to be proud of what they've accomplished here today. And with the mission concluded, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk briefly about the history of most of the people of Echo Squad. It has been mentioned that they come from a group called Pilgrim Private Securities, and that group worked for a Venezuelan dictator until the aliens took over, and then Pilgrim Private Securities basically took to the jungles with many other people, and so their ranks grew exponentially until they inaugurated a guerrilla war, and Mortimer, David Mortimer, had at his disposal, along with other people, a small army. And it wasn't just Katherine Susbury and David Mortimer at that point. There were probably half a dozen quote-unquote generals of this army. But in the last year, Advent really clamped down on them, dispatching thousands of troops to the jungles of South America in order to pin down Pilgrim Private Securities, or the Pilgrim Army, as it were. And as an aside, both Mortimer and Susbury's files talk about how they had been engaged. They were fiancés, but were is the operative word. That's no longer the case, and that's due in part to a difference in strategic opinion. Susbury advocated scattering the army, basically thinning out so that Advent couldn't pin them down, whereas Mortimer wanted to keep most of the army together and continue the guerrilla war. This isn't to say that Susbury wanted to throw in the towel. No, she did want to continue the fight, but just not necessarily in South America, and really, her desire was to locate XCOM and join their ranks, but this would mean shedding the army, which is something that Mortimer didn't really want to do. So, she bid him farewell, and she went on her way. After that point, came a large pitched battle. The last thing Mortimer really wanted, or the other generals. No, they wanted to continue this hit and run strategy, but Advent finally got them in a drawn-out battle, and in the end, it turned out to be the last stand. That guerrilla army was all but destroyed. The survivors did exactly what Susbury had advocated months before. They scattered to the wind. And among those survivors was Mortimer and some of his immediate staff officers or bodyguards, all of which were very capable fighters. As to the other so-called generals of that South American army, well, every single one of them was isolated, tracked down, and killed by Advent. It seems that of all of them, only Mortimer and his immediate associates were slick enough to run the gauntlet of Advent patrols successfully, make their way to North America, and ultimately track down a resistance cell that had contact with XCOM. And all the while, Katherine Susbury was using XCOM resources to determine the whereabouts of any survivors of Pilgrim Private Securities or the Pilgrim Guerrilla Army from South America. And it just so happened that she found her old friend, David Mortimer, and her friends Durga and Finnegan Trollester.
It looks like we finally got a shot at breaking Advent's propaganda machine once and for all. It won't be easy, but we'll see this thing through to the end, no matter the costs.
And so that kind of explains the backstory behind Echo Squad's personalities and what ultimately brought them aboard the Avenger. And again, they should be very proud of what they did today. Thus far, they have proved to be a valuable squad to us. And you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people realizing that one of them is on screen now, Colonel Van Dorn. Probably just considering the fact that he's not likely to take to the field again. But one could envision him joining some kind of UN-styled governing body post-war. After all, that's where he comes from, the UN. Anyways, this is Automatic for Automatic Games. I appreciate you watching. If you like this, and if you are subscribed, I will talk to you soon, friends.